Hello, very warm welcome. Driver ratings for the Bahrain Grand Prix. Every 20 driver covered. A rating out of 10, 0 being awful, 10 being superb. Let's get into it. I won't start with a world champion. Someone commented last week, oh, Hamilton favouritism, you start with him. So let's start with the race winner of the Bahrain Grand Prix, Sebastian Vettel. I would give him 9 out of 10. Pole position, great weekend for the German. Race win, was superb on his tyres and managed to hold off Bottas at the end. So Sebastian Vettel has to get 9 out of 10. Superb weekend, championship leader. 2 races, he's won them both. Perfect weekend for him. 50 points, leads the Drivers' Championship. Next we'll get into Bottas. Bottas I will give a 7. It was a bit, I thought he had a solid qualifying, solid race, good recovery from Australia. Nothing like spectacular. Could have won the race. I don't know, maybe 7's a bit harsh. Maybe you could give him 8, but I'll go 7 for Bottas. Good recovery. Put the pressure on Vettel right at the end, but couldn't get him. Next up, Lewis Hamilton. Now I am a Hamilton fan, as you know, but I'm going to give him 5 out of 10. I thought he was not at the races all weekend, didn't have the pace, out-qualified by Bottas, poor weekend by my standards, and got that gearbox penalty, 9th to 3rd, good recovery, but I'll give him a 5 out of 10. I thought it was one of his off weekends, and he wasn't on it. So P3, 15 points in the bag. I suppose it's not bad, but I give him 5 out of 10. Kimi, 6 out of 10. It looked quick all weekend, but then it gets to qualifying, out-qualified by Vettel, and then obviously the unsafe release in the race broke his mechanic's leg, which is very unfortunate. But Kimi got the green light, so Kimi didn't do anything wrong. He went when he's supposed to, but obviously they didn't change the tyre. So I give him 6 out of 10. He was having a good race, would have got 3rd place probably, but obviously the unsafe release, he retired from the race. Next we go to Max, and I love Max, you all know Max. I think he'll be a future world champion, but again, 2 poor races by his standard. I don't like to see it. He had contact with Hamilton. I think they were both to blame for that, but crashed in qualifying, difficult race, and yeah, I'd give him 4 out of 10. I don't like to give him that because I'm a huge fan of his, but that's by his standards 2 poor weekends. Mistake qualifying, race incident with Hamilton cost him, got a puncture and then retired. Ricciardo I give a solid 5 out of 10. He had a good qualifying, but in the race it wasn't his fault. So yeah, I give him a solid 5. Solid weekend, nothing spectacular. Retirement wasn't his fault. Maybe that is a bit harsh, 5 out of 10, but what can you do? He retired from the race, so you can't really give him any higher. Alonso and Van Dorn I both give a 6 out of 10. Solid by McLaren once again, good haul of points, and I think Alonso's 4th in the championship, which is unbelievable. You would have never seen that in the McLaren Honda days. So yeah, both McLaren guys I'll give a 6. Then we'll do both of the Williams now. 1 out of 10. Awful, no pace, worst car on the grid. A team that used to win races and championships is now the worst team on the grid. Stroll and Sorokin get a 1 out of 10. Not good enough. Awful. Williams are a disgrace. They're a shambles. They seriously need to improve. Just awful. So bad. Who we got next? Oh, the guy who I always criticise, Marcus Ericsson, scores points. Unbelievable by the Swedishman. Hasn't scored points since 2015, and he finishes 9th on a one-stop strategy. I give Marcus Ericsson 8 out of 10. Superb. I'm his biggest critic, but when he does right, I praise him. So 8 out of 10. I could even give him a 9, but I'll stick with 8 because he did only finish 9th. But that is superb by Marcus Ericsson, especially in a Sauber. On to his teammate Charles Leclerc. Not a great weekend for Charles Leclerc. Mistake in qualifying in the last corner, outshined by Ericsson all weekend, and a poor race. He did beat the Williams, but Not a very good weekend for Charles Leclerc. I thought he'd be doing. I mean, it is only his second race, so we need to give him time. But I thought he'd be beating Ericsson. But let's see. So we did the Williams guy. Hartley, I give him 4 out of 10. His teammate had an absolute worldie race, and his race was done when he got the 10-second penalty for contact with Perez. He would have definitely got in the points, but that contact with Perez really ruined his race, and he got his best ever qualifying. So I give him 4 out of 10. Now on to his teammate, the Frenchman. Pierre Gasly, 10 out of 10. Driver of the day, superb all weekend. Done nothing for Toro Rosso. Then he gets to Bahrain and performs like he's been in F1 years. Superb all weekend. Fast. Top 10 practices, top 10 practices, top 10 in quali, and then in the race he gets 4th. Absolute megastar. Well, let's not go too far, but he performed like a megastar at Bahrain, so I give him 10 out of 10. And he gets my highest rating, because he's in a Toro Rosso Honda and he finished 4th. World class by Pierre Gasly. Romain Grosjean, I give him 2. Why do I give him 2? That is harsh, but Magnussen finished 5th. Grosjean was nowhere all weekend, made a mistake in qualifying, and what have I got written down? Made a mistake in qualifying, race outshined by Magnussen, and his car, every time he was going down the straights, there was bits flying off his car, so awful weekend. Kevin Magnussen, probably my driver of the season so far, been superb in both races. Obviously he didn't finish at Australia. I give Kevin Magnussen a 7 out of 10. 2 solid weekends, and looking pacey. I give him, being my driver of the season so far, 10 points in the bag for him. Obviously he should have got at Australia as well. He's been superb, Magnussen. Very reckless last season, but this season he's been superb. Hulkenberg, 7 out of 10. Solid drive, and had to put up with battery issues all weekend, well, all during the race. And he's outshined Carlos Sainz. Strong driver lineup for Renault, but Hulkenberg, great race. And especially if he had battery problems all race. I mean, that's a great drive. Got 6, didn't he? Sainz, I give a 3. I was really disappointed with Carlos Sainz. I mean, where was his pace? Hulkenberg, solid. Sainz, he's had 2 difficult races to start the season, so yeah, I would knock him down. Disappointing race, outshined by Hulkenberg. Perez, 4 out of 10. His race was hugely affected when Hartley hit him, and obviously his car must have been damaged because he had no pace. Race affected by the Hartley hit. That's all I've got written down for Perez. Ocon, solid race, had a great battle with Hulkenberg in the opening couple of laps. First point of the season, and yeah, good point. Well, a good point. I was going to say points, but he finished 10th, so he only got 1. So we'll just run down. Ocon 5 out of 10, Perez 4 out of 10, Sainz 3 out of 10, Hulkenberg 7, Magnussen 7, Grosjean 2, Pierre Gasly, the highest mark I've given someone, 10 out of 10. Absolutely superb. Words don't do him justice what he did at Bahrain. Superb. Hartley 4, Sorokin and Stroll 1, Alonso Van Dorn 6, Ericsson 8, Leclerc 2, Ricciardo 5, Max 4, Kimi 6, Seb 9, Hamilton 5, Bottas 7. Have I missed anyone out? I don't think so. Let me know if you agree or disagree. I mean, obviously, with doing ratings, every driver, you're not going to agree with me, but the highest ones, Gasly 10, deserves it. No one could really argue with that. Toro Rosso, Honda, and he finishes 4th and gets 12 points. Unbelievable. Sebastian Vettel won the race. Perfect race, pole position, race winner, looked after his tyres, managed to hold off Bottas. And then who else got Ericsson. Superb by Marcus Ericsson, and one of his biggest critics. But he gets in the points after a long wait for points. And that's a great performance in the Sauber. One-stop strategy really worked for him. So there you have it. All 20 drivers done. Bahrain Grand Prix done. On to China we go. Thanks for watching.